Welcome to Avery Island, Louisiana. My name is Joey Brown, and this is Dr. Shane Bernard, author and historian for Avery Island. You may have heard about Avery Island because of the world-renowned Tabasco hot sauce, but there's a hidden gem here. It's called Jungle Gardens, and we're going to give you a tour of it today. But before we do that, we're going to get Shane here to give you a little bit of the background on it.
So Jungle Gardens was founded by Edward Avery McIlhenny. He was the son of Tabasco sauce inventor Edmund McIlhenny. Edward was born in 1872. By around 1900, he had converted his private estate, into a wholesale plant nursery and a landscape architecture business. And so what you see today when you come to the gardens is really the remnants of that early business, which became a drive-through tourism attraction in the 1930s.
These gardens are like a time capsule. Most of the plants here have been planted 100 to 150 years ago, like these live oaks that we have here. Now notice this resurrection fern. It doesn't get any of its nutrients from its host, the live oak, and it can lose 97% of its water content and still be alive. Most plants lose 10% of their water content and they die. It just goes dormant, and when it rains, it comes back to life. Hence the name resurrection fern. Also, another epiphytic plant is this Spanish moss. It's not really a moss at all. It's part of the bromeliad family. You can find the resurrection fern and the moss on all the live oaks all over the island. Along the way, you'll see several different varieties of bamboo, also several different varieties of wildlife. We have deer, bear, rabbits, even alligators. Not many gardens can say they have alligators. Shane, can you tell us something about EA and alligators?
Yeah, EA was an alligator expert. He built several alligator pens in Jungle Gardens, of which there's at least still one that you can see over by Bird City. And he wrote a book called The Alligator's Life History or Life Story that's still considered authoritative today.
So come along with us. We'll see some really cool things. This is giant reed. It is a tall perennial grass native to the Middle East. It is the primary source of material for reeds for saxophones, clarinets, and other woodwind instruments. This is the Cleveland oak. In 1891, President Grover Cleveland came to visit Avery Island, so they named a tree in honor of him. It's over 300 years old and 23 feet in circumference. This is the holly hedge, planted in the 1920s with seeds originally from Asia. EA used this holly to cultivate several new varieties that are found all over the island. This is the Wisteria Arch. As you can see, some of the vines are very old, and they're original to the arch. In the springtime, the flowers bloom from light purple to dark purple. It's a really spectacular effect. You need to come and see it. Once a sand pit, this has evolved into a beautiful garden with sago palms, windmill palms, jelly palms, all sorts of exotic ferns, and of course bamboo.
This is Bird City in Jungle Gardens. E.A. McIlhenny built this when he was 23 years old in 1895. And what he did was to build a little dam around a wet area, knowing that it would become a pond. And now it's a pond several acres in size called Willow Pond. And he set up a rookery here. He noticed that there were fewer and fewer snowy egrets because they were being killed by plume hunters for their feathers. And the feathers were being used in women's hats, which was very fashionable at the time. And so he went onto the marsh, found 8 or so egrets, brought them back to the island, having captured them, set them loose in what he called a flying cage, which is just an aviary, and then kept them in that all summer. And then in the fall, he let them go, hoping that they would come back to this place on their own in the spring, bringing more egrets with them. And that's exactly what happened. And it was so successful an idea that by, say, 1910 or 1915 or so, there were over 100,000 egrets right here where we are in Willow Pond. This is the Sunken Garden. It was set up by E.A. McElhenney really to stop erosion. You would never know that looking at it because it looks like it was just a very well-designed garden. But in fact, he used some new techniques to stop this hillside from eroding away because we have a lot of heavy rains here in South Louisiana. And what was left was a beautiful sunken garden that contains ferns, including some very rare ferns, and palm trees and other semi-tropical plants.
Bamboo can be found all over Avery Island. EA planted 64 different varieties. Right now we have about 36. This particular variety is called Robert Young bamboo. Avery Island boasts the largest grove of timber bamboo outside of China and is regarded as one of the most extensive collections in the world. Avery Island is home to over 600 varieties of camellias. Some came from France, some came from Japan, others E.A. McElhenney just propagated himself. This is his camellia study garden, where he practiced different types of hybrids of camellias. It's amazing. Some days you can see, like, on one tree there'll be a camellia that's white, and on the other side of the same tree there'll be a red one. Who knows? Azaleas are also very well represented on Avery Island. Visitors can see thousands of varieties of azaleas. We have white, red, striped, magenta, pink, singles, doubles, you name it. In fact, I think you can find something interesting and different in every part of Jungle Gardens. So come see us.